One thing I get asked about a lot in the gym is how we can help these kids open up their shoulder angle so that they can perform better, and then hopefully also minimize getting risk of injuries in their shoulders, back, or anywhere else. But what we need to determine first is whether is it a lack of actual range of motion? Can the gymnast not engage in the range of motion that they have because they're not strong enough? Or can they not maintain that range of motion because they don't have the stability? Oftentimes it's a combination of some of them, but sometimes it's just that they don't have the strength to even get into the range of motion that they might actually have. So there's an easy way to try to tease this out a little bit in the gym if you don't have someone available to help you with that. So the first thing you can do, if you're taking a look at a kid, obviously, if they can actively bring those arms up by their head without arching their back or doing anything funny. Now my left one's not too bad, but my right one's injured, so I can't quite get there. So we'll look at that one. So is this because I actually don't have the range of motion, or can I just not get there because I'm not strong enough? So you can have them flip over on their back. Now gravity is helping them come back here, but what you want to make sure is that if that shoulder is getting to the ground, it's not because they're doing this to compensate for that. That's a whole different story of lack of stability, maybe some lat or cuff tightness that will contribute to that. Now my other arm actually does a pretty good job of going all the way back. I can push it back there. This one, not so much. So I'm actually lacking range here. If I push a little bit more, I start to flare up a little bit. I can push it down some and I might actually get there. So it looks like I'm actually lacking some end range, but let's just say I wasn't. You're like, wow, this kid can't open up the shoulders, but when they lay on their back, they can. So what's the problem? So let's come in through here. If you get a panel mat or something, you have them sit their butt on their heels. You have them put their forehead on a panel mat. I'm just going to use this Bosu. And then you have them put their arms up overhead and see if they can lift. If they can lift them up and they're not bending their elbows or bringing them out to the side, then they're strong enough to get their arms there. But if they're still not able to open up that shoulder angle, then there's likely a lack of stability in that end range position, or just a fatigue factor that happens with that. What happens is when you put that in that curled position, it locks out that mid back. So for kids that maybe can only get here, they're not able to do this to lift their arms. They actually have to use their shoulder muscles to lift that arm up and get it back there. So that's a pretty easy test to maybe help you out in the gym to determine why my kid can't open up their shoulders. Is it enough mobility? Is it not enough strength? Is it that they're lacking the stability in that overhead position? And then once we can determine which, if any of those that it is, then we can address it a little bit better. So try using that test out in the gym and see